Okay, so if you feel stuck because you are scared of failing, but also ironically scared of succeeding, you are not alone. You, of course, want more for your life. You can picture this future version of you that who is thriving and achieving her goals, but the moment you step toward it, something inside you pulls you back. And it's almost like no matter what direction you lean in, fear is meeting you there. And if that feels painfully accurate, just stay with me because we're going to try to help you. Well, I'm going to try to help you make sense of it today. And I want to start by saying this very gently. You're not confused, you're not lazy, you're not unmotivated or self sabotaging yourself for no reason. This is a pattern that is incredibly common among very smart, self aware, growth minded women. And there's a very good reason that your body and your mind is sending you mixed signals. Okay? I don't want to fail, but I don't want to succeed. Nothing about you is broken. What you're experiencing here is a conflict of safety, it's not a lack of desire. And so here's the truth that most people miss. You're not afraid of failure or success itself. Okay, what you're afraid of oftentimes is the identity shifts or the expectations or vulnerability and change that comes with whatever is on the other side, with failing and succeeding. Failure is a thing that threatens your worth, whereas success threatens your identity, relationships, and safety. People aren't conscious of this most of the time. And you're not stuck because you can't change. You're stuck because both paths feel equally unsafe to you at this moment. And that's why you're like hovering in the middle. Like you want more, you crave growth, but you never let yourself go fully in. Not because you don't care, of course you care, but because your brain is trying to protect you. And so let's break this down so you can finally like say, oh my gosh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's why I'm doing it. Your subconscious, like I say often enough, has one main job to protect you from emotional danger. And both failure and success can trigger that danger for different reasons. So, why do we fear failure? Okay, we've got that fear of embarrassment or judgment, fear of confirming a belief that maybe you're not good enough, fear of disappointment, like in yourself or from others, or maybe it's a fear of trying and not getting the results that we hope for. And so you just don't do anything because failing feels like proof that your worst fears about yourself are true. And so what does your brain want to do? It wants to avoid it. But why do we fear success? Like that's the one that's most often and commonly misunderstood, but it really runs deep. And just in case you're wondering, I've experienced all sorts of fears in my life and I've still been willing to take action despite those fears. But fear in itself, okay, if success brings, what does success bring? Visibility. And visibility can make us feel very vulnerable. Success brings expectations, but what if you can't maintain it? Success can also trigger jealousy or judgment or disapproval, even if we're just imagining that that's going to happen. Okay, we don't like that. Success can also shift relationships, like people will treat you differently potentially. And success can challenge our identity, like who will we become if we achieve that goal? Success, just like failure does, threatens the familiar to you. And even if your current life feels too small, it's still known to you. It's still familiar. And your brain is always, always, always going to choose and prefer the known, like the known discomfort. Okay, even if it feels really painful in your comfort zone right now, okay, I'll always pick that versus the unknown possibility. And so both success and failure can feel very risky, but it's still, your brain's still going to keep you in a holding pattern, like stuck and frozen, half in and half out, because it doesn't want you to experience either or. But the most empowering part is once you understand this fear, okay, these fears and why you're doing it, you can work with it, not against it. So how do you like actually reshift, like the change the way that you think about both failure and success in a way that is actually going to help you take action? I want you to remind yourself like avoiding failure is just failing in advance. Protecting yourself from disappointment doesn't prevent pain. It just guarantees regret. It's almost like we're failing ahead of time by doing nothing. Remind yourself success won't turn you into someone else. It's just going to reveal more of who you already are. I think that we all know that growth, as we've grown through life, we all have. It doesn't replace us, it expands us. Remind yourself also that fear doesn't mean stop. It means you're stepping into something meaningful. Okay, if it didn't matter, you wouldn't feel anything. And I love that saying, everything you want is on the other side of your fears. You're just going to be willing to walk there. And you can learn to feel safe with visibility, one tiny step at a time. Success isn't about like taking a massive leap. It's about a gradual nervous system exposure, slowly and surely, my friend. And you can remind yourself also, you don't need to be unafraid to take action. Okay, you just need to be willing. Bravery is fear with movement. The fear never, ever, ever goes away. I've always understood that fear is just a passenger traveling with me as I journey through life. It is always sitting there beside me whenever I do something new. Always, always, always. But I just make sure that it doesn't dictate where I'm going. And I definitely don't let it put its hands on the steering wheel. I get to decide. And I get to also decide how I speak to that fear. It's like, cool, you're there. That's fine. It's normal. And also understand when it comes to fear of success, people who are meant for you, meant to stay in your life, will adapt to your growth. And those who don't were never your people. Success does not ever ruin aligned relationships. It actually clarifies exactly who is meant to be in your life. And failure is also not an identity. Okay, I said to you, I've probably failed a million times in my life. That's okay. It's just data. It teaches you what works so that you can try again better. And you don't need to ever maintain an identity that keeps you small just because it's familiar. Why would you do that? What's the purpose in that? Being comfortable in your life is not the same as being aligned in your life. And you can build a life that where success feels very safe versus heavy. Sustainable success grows at a speed that honors your nervous system. And you're allowed to outgrow a version of yourself, who was once upon a time scared of wanting more. You don't need to permission to expand in your life. You just get to choose to honor that and let that all soak in for a moment. Maybe one of those little shifts are exactly the thing that you needed to hear that you can latch onto and repeat to yourself because it's going to unlock something for you. So how do you actually break this pattern? Like once and for all. I offered you some mindset shifts, but I don't want you to aim for like crazy courage first. Aim for safety first. And so the first thing you're going to do is normalize those fears, fear of failure, fear of success. Both are normal. I promise you, there's normal. You can't outthink your way out of them. Of course, you're scared of failing and succeeding. Both come with change. And so naming that fear and recognizing that it exists is the thing that brings you out of shame. Like you're not going to shame yourself about it anymore for being a normal human, but it brings it into awareness. And the next thing is you're going to choose a safer version of success. Ask yourself, like, what does a gentle, aligned version of success look like for me right now? Not the biggest goal. I would say just go for a little stretchy goal. And if it's too big, just shrink it down, but at least set yourself a goal, like the next doable level. And the next thing, step 3 is, so after you have normalized your fears and you've chosen a safer version of success that doesn't like freak you out, the next is just, practice micro expansion. Do the smallest version of the thing that scares you, not the full leap. Just take one step up that ladder, just one rung up that ladder at a time. And then the next thing is you got to make sure that you anchor yourself after you take action. After you do something brave, do something soothing, a walk, journal, take deep breaths. Teach your body like we can do the scary stuff and still stay safe. Okay, we'll still land on our feet. And the next is make sure that you are celebrating yourself. Your identity shifts, not the outcomes. Instead of asking yourself, did that work? Ask yourself, who did I become through that process? That is the thing that builds self-trust. And I could keep on going on and on about the fact that whenever you were chasing your goals, the biggest riches come from who you become in the process. Who will you become in the process? And so your little mini challenge this week is choose an area that you've been stuck in, like you've been stuck in the middle of like not wanting to fail and not wanting to succeed, and all you've been doing is hesitating and doing zero. And ask yourself what's the smallest, kindest action that you could take that's going to just move you 1% forward. Notice I said not 10 steps forward, 1%. And just take that action, not to prove anything, but to show your brain that growth is safe. Growth is safe. And the way it is safe is you make it safe. And if this has landed with you and you want more gentle support to take aligned action, especially when fear shows up, I've created a free guide with 5 thought sheets that's going to help you get out of your own head and follow through with so much more calm and clarity. The link is below in the description if you want it, but no pressure, just support if you need it. And if this has resonated, tell me in the comments what fear holds you back more. Is it fear of success or fear of failure? I was so surprised to discover that it's obviously both, but it can be one or the other that's stronger. And I want to make sure that you truly, truly understand that you do not have to choose between staying small or burning out or trying to be someone that you're not, okay? There's always a different path that I'm going to offer you, and it's growing at the speed of safety. This is like the coolest path and the easiest one that you are able to stay consistent at, and I'm going to encourage you to take it. Like go down the one. Grow at the speed of safety. One gentle, brave step at a time. That's all you need to do. Take care. I'm rooting for you. I'm wishing you the best, and I will catch you in the next video.